Ceann Comhairle, I'm pleased to have the opportunity to speak in support of the amendment to the motion in the House this evening. Unless someone has been living under a stone for the last couple of years, we are all well aware of the extent of the financial crisis that has gripped this country. We are also well aware of the economic abyss that we find ourselves in, and we are all too well aware, unfortunately, of the banking crisis. There hasn't been the creation of this government. In many respects, the country is in receivership. We are dealing with the result of arch-conservative, right-wing politics, which brought this country to a halt and literally put us into receivership. So to take a particular angle on a debate without being cognizant of the historical context is a bit really like, throwing a dart in the dark. I mean, it's absolutely aimless. So in that particular context, I will keep my remarks to the manner in which homeowners find themselves struggling, and also the bank bonuses in terms of the culture that has existed and hasn't really concluded in recent times. I think we need to be very cognizant of where we're going in the future and ensuring that mistakes aren't repeated. 1 in 10 homeowners, Ceann Comhairle, are struggling to pay their mortgage and trying to stave off repossession. 400,000 people are out of work. It is correct for the previous Deputy state that when people took out mortgages, they took out those mortgages in good faith, and they believed that they could repay these mortgages. And unfortunately, given the economic crisis, given the unemployment crisis, that no longer is the case. As the Taoiseach put it quite well today, we are in a very challenging economic crisis, but it's not an impossible crisis. And with the right decisions now, we can hope to turn that corner in the near future. But amidst the structural changes that are currently taking place, Ceann Comhairle, we must not forget about the thousands of ordinary people who are bearing the brunt of the economic crisis, the profound economic crisis brought about by our predecessors in government, Fianna Fáil and their friends in the Green Party. A recent national survey carried out by the Irish Credit Union Association revealed many worrying trends about Irish people's financial situations, namely that 20% of Irish homeowners have just €70 left when they have finished paying their mortgage and their utility bills in any one month. 4 out of 5 people said they are worried that they will not cope if unforeseen expenses will arise. In this context, it is absolutely urgently needed to introduce legislation which will provide measures to assist struggling homeowners. Now, the Minister quite eloquently has put forward a very strong number of points in defence of what could be done in that context. But I believe it's absolutely imperative that we drive to that action at this particular junction and help those who are facing eviction by the banks, help those who are before the courts because they're facing bankruptcy laws, and help those who are struggling to make ends meet. Analysts have indicated that the ECB will hike their interest rate twice within the next 12 months, and most likely either next month or the month after for the first of those possible increases. Now, that is extremely worrying because you are dealing with people who are trying to exist on much reduced incomes, and on top of that, and also on top of the appalling situation in recent weeks where we've seen some banks will introduce increased banking charges, it is making it almost impossible for some people to exist. Recently, Ceann Comhairle, I called on the government to press ahead with promised legislation in the programme for government which will provide relief for struggling homeowners around the country. Now, it's very important, Ceann Comhairle, that I say this. We need, as a country, to show some quid pro quo with those people who are absolutely struggling. We have seen the manner in which the banks have been recapitalised. We have seen the manner in which the previous government bent to their every whim and need. And when you balance that in terms of what the struggling homeowner has, there's a huge cry for parity of esteem. Just in relation to banking bonuses, the very ugly culture of banking bonuses is one that sickens people to their very core. Now, the Committee of European Bank Supervisors published guidelines in January which advise governments across Europe on various new EU rules on banker pay. One of those guidelines is that investment banks should be forced to limit bonuses to a set multiple of banker salaries that would be agreed with financial watchdogs. So it's very, very important that we press ahead with measures like that. Ciara, can I make one point in conclusion? There are many analysts, there are many experts. It's a very complex area, but every time you turn on the television, the parliamentarian or the politician is sidelined in favour of an expert. It is experts that got this country into trouble, based largely on right-wing economic politics administered by Fianna Fáil and their friends in the PDs and the Greens. Can I make one particular point? In my previous incarnation as a senator, there was one esteemed independent senator who had an expertise in banking, who championed Sean Fitzpatrick and Michael Fingerton, and who berated Allied Irish Bank and Bank of Ireland for not following the practices, the business model of Anglo-Irish Bank. Just imagine how badly off we'd be if they managed to listen to his advice on that occasion.
Thank you very much.